Hey guys, this is Adam with SeeYouLaterLeaner, and I am here with one of my local clients to Las Vegas. We have CC in.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you for inviting me. I'm really excited to be here today.
Yeah, we really wanted to highlight just not only a Masters athlete, but much
Yes.
easier to perform a podcast when you're here in town, which is
Yes.
awesome.
It's really exciting to be here. Well, first of all, Las Vegas, it's amazing, amazing town. Like this is the mecca for fitness, I will say. No wonder why Olympia is held here every year. Almost every year, I will say. But yeah, it's really exciting. And it's the first time that I have a local coach. I always had remote coaches. So this is exciting. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. When we originally chatted, yeah, that was one of the things you were thinking. I think I want someone a little bit more in person.
Yes.
We had met at Strength Culture. You were kind of feeling me out. And,
Yeah.
obviously with having some autoimmune issues that I'm very familiar with, you wanted to choose a coach that helps you with those things.
Definitely, because it was really difficult when I didn't know that I had an autoimmune. So I went through a couple of coaches, very well-known coaches, which I have nothing but respect. But sometimes you're not. It's not that they are not the right fit for me; is that I wasn't the right fit for those coaches. So obviously you were, because we've been together for what, about a year now, I think.
Yeah, a little longer. I think
I think
it's
a little
like a
longer.
year
You're
and a
right.
half now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the results have been amazing. So I am stuck with you guys. And unless you drop me for some strange reason, I am staying.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
love having you.
Thank you.
And I don't really believe there are some bad coaches, and coaching can be really
Yes.
fragile now, like even more fragile with the stated chat GPT coaches.
Oh my God. Yeah. Everybody's a coach now.
Everyone's a coach now. But I think one thing that a lot of people miss the mark on with autoimmunes or Hashimoto's is that recovery is just such a big piece of this. And I remember our first prep together, you were a little
Yes.
nervous, like, you're going to have me train how many days a week?
Yeah.
And it all comes down to balancing the stress load.
Well, Hashimoto's is also one of those autoimmunes that is very personal, very individual. You will have major symptoms, let's just say like 101 type of symptoms. You're going to be fatigued, you're going to have this, and that. But then every individual will experience it completely different. So it was the first time in my life. I've been healthy my whole life. And this brought me to a point where I had to do so much research. It was insane, absolutely insane. And that's what I needed. I needed a coach. I needed a team who could understand where I was, also my age. Let's just be honest. Nothing works the same when I'm 47, about to turn 48. And nothing works the same. You almost have to work double to get half of the result. So it was a little bit of a challenge. And I thank you for taking on that project, because really, I don't think I'm a difficult athlete.
No, not at all.
but at the same time, I know I ask a lot of questions and a lot of things, especially on the first prep. It's a lot of trial and error. And that's a little bit what we did on the first prep.
Yeah.
So, but it worked perfect. It worked out.
Absolutely. Well, one thing is you survived our first communication platform. So you're still
Oh
here,
my God,
which is great.
Yeah.
As a business owner, we all make mistakes. And I had tried we only made this last for about a year. And honestly, I was shut down about 6 months after. We spent like a lot of money on this CRM platform.
I can only imagine.
And it did not work out very well for us at all. And about 6 months in, I was thinking, man, I need to change this. And a lot of promises were not delivered that they should have. And so we ended up changing directions. So now that you're here, like to you, we were good before, but I knew as a coach I could be better. I'm very much a perfectionist because now you've been
I
here
can
and
see
I've
that.
made so
Yeah, I
many
can see that.
changes. But what do you think of the See You Later Leaner app community now?
I'm loving it so far, but at first I want to address what you just said about, I survived the first. I understand, like, you guys are entrepreneurs, business owners, and you're right. And one thing I actually respected a lot is one of the first communications I had with Sarah, because as an athlete, you're paying for a service. It's like you almost believe that your coach has to be there with you, holding your hand and answering every single question at every minute of every day. And it actually doesn't work that way, because your coach is also a human being and they need a life, right? So Sarah and you are like super well organized when it comes to that. And you have like certain days. This is when we do the check-ins. This is when we do the meetings, and this is when we do the phone calls. From this time to this time, no phone calls, I don't answer to emails. I actually respected that a lot. It's almost like, okay, that means that I have to be in line also with their schedule, and that worked perfectly fine for me. I had no problem. Sometimes, if it's too close to show, obviously you have a different way of communicating, which I really appreciate that too. But I didn't have a lot of problems with the first one. Now the app, it's amazing. Yeah, I'm super excited to be. It's actually really nice to be able to communicate with everybody anytime, every day in the group chat.
Yeah.
And then you have different folders for us. Like if you want to learn about this, there's like a university where we can go and learn everything about hormones, or everything about prep, or things that we should, the do's and the don'ts. And that's pretty cool. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. I bet that was expensive to develop.
It was, but we're very happy with it. We're really happy with the development,
Mhm.
and I I really think that the world of just non-community coaching is going to be gone soon.
Yes.
With maybe more coaches getting a platform like ours,
Hmm.
and it's just there's so much technology out there that it can almost, I won't say replace us, because if it's replacing coaches, that coaching was already fragile to
Mm.
begin with. But having that community is something that ChatGPT cannot recreate.
Yeah,
And having
definitely.
humans along on this very hard journey um, is very helpful. And like even having our client success director, like somebody that's a mediator me between you and me, like if
Yeah.
you're like ever having an issue you don't feel like you can bring up to me, or you want to talk it through with someone, she's like the mediator, which is so nice.
Yeah,
So, and
definitely.
you're really active in the community, so I
Yeah,
love
I'm
that.
pretty active. It's important. First of all, I love being part of a team, which I never. I know I've been working out, participating in shows for about 5 years now, 6 years, in and out. Very active the last year with you, but I think it's really important to. I always did it alone and individually, but I noticed that being part of a community made me a better athlete too. So
Yes.
being able to communicate with the girls, with the guys, it's actually very positive, because you're always getting a feedback, or you're always getting an encouraging message. There's always somebody out there experiencing the same things you're experiencing. So being able to share that, and hey, look, this worked for me, maybe it works for you. And I don't know, I love that.
Or it reminds us when we felt that way, and sometimes
Yes.
we forget that when we're in like the off
Oh my God,
season.
yes. Yes. Off season, off season can be really tricky, Adam. It's kind of scary, especially when you come out of, like we were in prep for a whole year, and the off season kind of, I will say, let's talk about that. I want to talk
Yeah.
about off season.
I think this is important too, because one, we need to highlight like how much weight you lost
Yes.
from beginning to
From beginning
stage.
to so from the beginning, it's about 40 pounds
Yeah.
total from the beginning, not the 3 months. So you and I started working out about 6 months before I stepped on stage.
Yes.
I so long story short, I had an autoimmune that developed overnight, and I started gaining a lot of weight. I never stopped working out. I never stopped eating healthy. I always cook at home. I don't really go out or dine out too much. But I noticed that my body, I was just getting puffy. It wasn't. I couldn't eat. I couldn't. It's really hard to express what you feel when you develop Hashimoto's, because you feel puffy in the morning, at night. It's swallowing, everything. It's just weird. And I went to a bunch of doctors, and no one actually ever said, "Oh, let's take the autoimmune test. Maybe you have Hashimoto's," because I have family history. My mom, my sister, everybody. It did not click for me that I may have it too until I found my hormone coach, which says, let's get your autoimmune test, because this is a sign that your thyroid may be acting out. And sure enough, it was positive. So
Sure enough, it was.
it was so amazing to know. It was a relief, let's say, because I'm not a big fan of taking medicine. I've never been. And I always go either to, not conventional medicine, but what's the other one?
Functional.
Thank you.
Yes.
Functional medicine always worked better for me. And the more natural, the better. But for some reason, like no one, it was tough. Like a whole year and a half of trying to see what works in my body. So after we fixed that little problem, everything started falling into place, including hiring you. And and then from them, we did 3 shows, and I won the 3 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not overall, which is ultimately, the goal, but I got first place on each of them. So I was super excited.
Yeah. First at the Cutler and first at Masters USA's, which is absolutely
The
amazing.
Masters USA was such a good show. Long.
Yes.
It was long. But what a beautiful, well put together muscle contest show. I don't think I never done muscle contest before. Oh my goodness. From the lighting, the music, I shout out to those guys.
People, like, honestly, muscle contests will spoil you.
Yes.
Like, you're going to know very closely to what time you'll be on stage, roughly. Like, they run so many shows. Like, that's the thing. And I know, like, some people just, they just, it's expensive.
It's really expensive.
It is expensive, but you get what you pay for.
Yes.
And they do it, honestly, I think the best. I'm not just saying that to shout them out. Like, I love, when we moved out here to Las Vegas, I thought, this is Las Vegas. This is what shows should be like. I think we have other great promoters.
Do you think it's about money or?
Well, to be able to afford the screens and the production company and everything that they do, like, that definitely comes at a price, but I think Austin does a great job, and Patrick and Jay. I love all our promoters out here, but we predominantly have muscle contest shows out on the West Coast, and I'm like, man, I'm really spoiled. I'm from Ohio, where a lot of times they just hang up one banner and we call that a bodybuilding show, and that's still fine. Like, I'm there for the bodybuilding regardless the production, but when you do a show in Las Vegas, like, it's got to be big. It's got to be one of those things where you want people to be walking around in the casino and say, what's going on in there? I need to go in and just see that. The attention. So
you're right, but you're right on the other side too. Like, I don't care if it's just a little light hanging. You're going there for, if it's a show, if it's worth, obviously. If you're going if you just have a goal to participate, like, that's how I started. I just want to participate in something. I was not thinking, along the road, I may want my pro car. I didn't even think of all that when I stepped on stage my first time 6 years ago. But kudos to those guys too if they're doing small shows, and we truly appreciate it because that's what bodybuilding is, right? It's just we're trying to build a family, healthier minds, healthier bodies, stronger people. That's what we need now.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Do you think it's different, like through the glass window, like as because you're coming from a huge weight loss.
Yes,
Also being a more mature competitor, we'll say, being in the
definitely. Very
Masters,
proud of it. Yeah.
but looking through the glass window of, becoming a elite competitor, it's kind of hard to know where you're going to fall in the Masters because I feel like the Masters don't really get highlighted as much because you're going through this journey and you're seeing Lorelai, you're seeing Amy, you're
Yeah.
seeing Ashlyn, you're seeing all these heavy hitters
Yes.
in bikini. And, not that we can't become that, but I think there's just like a big gap in like who gets highlighted and coming into this, you have to think, well, the goal is to get to that,
Hmm.
but we kind of have to be able to see the light in between.
Yeah.
And especially from a huge weight loss transformation like yours,
Definitely.
it makes a big difference.
It's
What'd that feel like kind of
it's
coming into this season and looking at your Instagram algorithm,
my Instagram. Oh my God, the algorithm that can get crazy. It can make you so insecure too. Sometimes depends on where your mind is. To be honest, Adam, I look up to those girls. In my case, because I'm talking about bikini. That's a division that I compete. I look up to those girls with so much admiration. So much admiration. I don't care if they're 20, 26, 30, 36. What I admire the most is how much work these women are putting into their bodies. It's I want that, I don't want to feel like, oh, I don't want to compete against Laura Lee. I don't want to compete against Ashley. Have you seen those girls? Like I've been lucky enough to meet them in person. At Colt, we work sometimes. Ashley is working out there every day, so she is actually there every single day. So it's the admiration I feel for those athletes. It's so immense that I don't think I can never feel overshadow or to the contrary. I just feel like, oh my God, one day I hope I'm lucky enough to even share the stage. I don't care if I'm number 50 on the line, but it'll be so amazing to be able to share the stage with just so many dedicated athletes, and this business is crazy. It's crazy. I because you think about their age, right? Let's talk about physically. Yes, you're right. Masters, we have the skin problems, right? Our skin gets a lot thinner when we're growing up. We have to work on our muscle maturity. If you've been working out for a long time, I will say it's a little bit of an advantage over a 20-year-old or 25-year-old. But still, we still have to work really, really, really hard. But just think about, some people say, well, these girls, they're young. Yeah, they could be doing a lot of other things. They could be partying at 20 years old. They could be doing a lot of other things that are not even related with bodybuilding, yet they are choosing to be healthy, to put themselves through so much training and learning. And what's not to admire about that?
Absolutely, right?
Yeah.
Kind of going back to the algorithm, you're one of my newer, diagnoses with
Hmm.
hashies.
Hmm.
And there's a lot of things out there. Like the moment you said Hashimoto's and your phone was nearby, there's a lot of like snake oil salesmen out there. Did
Yeah.
you notice like you're having to deflect people? There's people who say they have a cure for it,
Yeah.
and it's not true, but they will
Yeah.
take your money,
Oh yeah.
and was that difficult? Like once you found out Well, you were already with your current hormone doctor, correct?
Yes.
Which is
The
DJ Vanilla
Vanilla, yeah,
Face.
DJ
Yes,
Vanilla Face.
she's
She's
amazing, by
amazing.
the way.
She's
Yes,
amazing. I love her. She and you know, by the way, I don't have any affiliation with her, like, but I have been recommending her to so many people that ask me questions about it because she literally everything she said that was going to happen in my body it truly happened, and I just have nothing but respect for someone who takes the time to learn. She also trains doctors,
hmm
so you know it talks really high about
she
her.
actually has a medical
She has
background.
a medical background and pharmacy background, so she's very her TikTok is amazing. She knows a lot about chemistry, and I appreciate and I really love to have smart people like you guys, um, advising me. You're right with AI though. I think our phones, there's something going on for a long time that you start talking about something and then all of a sudden
It
your
shows
phone
up.
starts throwing you
Yeah, yeah,
like, oh, it's not, I don't think it's is I think it's designed that way.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I had a client. She had the antibodies risen, and
Okay.
we were very much post prep, where I'm like, we're not inflamed. Like
Mm-hmm.
you have hashies,
Yeah.
and so she, after our conversation, starts looking around. Finds a guy. I think it was like $8,000, but
Oh my
it's
God.
pay in full, and we will cure your Hashimoto's. And
Oh
and
wow.
actually, so she had wrote me the note. She was, I'm going to go a different direction, but I'm happy with you helping me find this.
Yeah.
I was like, let's jump on a call real quick. Like,
Wow.
and we have our medical director as well.
Yes.
And she was like, oh my God, you just saved me so much money because I just talked to your MD
Yeah.
and he's like, there's no
No,
cure
don't
for
fall for that's a
hashies.
trap.
And she's like, you literally just saved me a ton of money
Yeah.
by, not going down that rabbit
Mm-hmm.
hole. But you're right, there's a whole lot of things out there to get you. Um, so I work at Strength Culture,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't help but watch what Mike is doing with Cult Fitness. I gotta give him a
Yeah.
shout out.
Yeah.
Like
Thanks.
when I go
Mike
to
is
shows
amazing.
out
Yeah.
here, there's rows of people from Cult Fitness
Yeah.
supporting you guys. Tell us
It's
about the
insane.
Cult Fitness
So, but the Cool
community.
Fitness was super funny because you invited me. This is like over a year ago. You guys invited me to when I first signed in with you. You invited me to a workshop where Sandy was going to be there. It was just a bodybuilding workshop about posing and the do's and don'ts. And it was really amazing because we have Olympia coaches. I never miss. That's an advice that I will give to everybody. Do not miss. Those workshops are amazing. You always learn. Um, don't ever think you already know everything because you don't. Every time I went to one of those workshops, I always learned something different. And remaining coachable is, I think, a key for your success too. So I went to the workshop. Mike happened to be there, the owner of Cult, and he was giving away, like always. He's a big giver. He
He's
gives.
a huge
Oh
giver.
my God, it's crazy. So very generous. He gave away a 3 months membership for free, and I won that.
That's right.
And that's how, because I was working out at a different gym, and so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go. Why not? And it's a little farther from my house. I'm in downtown right now, so it's about 28 to 30 minute drive, and I started going there, and I never wanted to leave.
hmm
Like the sense of I never experienced community in a gym, and I've been in a lot of gyms. I lived 2 years in Florida too, and West Palm Beach, Boca Raton, and I never felt that community. Like when you walk to a gym and everybody says hi to you, and you start meeting people and becoming friends, and the owner greets you by your name. I
hmm
never experienced that before.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people probably do in small towns, but Vegas is not a small town, so I
Yeah.
wasn't expecting that at all. Mike, it's been great. It's been great, and all the amenities and the things that he's doing for the gym, the free workshops with more, giveaways. He's a very generous guy. He's always around. Very approachable, and yeah, he's probably gonna open another gym soon,
Yeah, yeah.
which I'm very excited about. And we're expanding. Yeah, I'm saying we, like I'm already part of it. But that was
They
really,
bring you guys in. Like
yes,
you guys
yes,
really are a part of a community there, you know.
totally. Shout out to Mike. Um, One of the coolest things that happened to me when I won the first place at the USA Masters, he brought me a little Argentinian flag to
Flag,
the
I saw
gym
that.
and
Yes.
put it there on the shelf, saying, as a member of cult, when you win the first place, we always do this if you're an international athlete. So that was so very uh, heartfelt.
Hmm.
Like I felt like, okay, this is home. And that's how I never. I don't think I'm ever gonna leave Colta. It's a beautiful place to
His
be.
vision's
Hmm.
definitely special. You can tell, like, this is a guy who doesn't have to do this. He could be doing
Right?
a lot of other
Yeah.
things, but it's like the thing is he loves I think he
Yeah.
might like bodybuilding as much as I do. And
Yeah.
like by
It's
watching
possible.
his actions, I'm just like, and it is one of those things like when you kind of make it in life, like you're set. And one of the big flexes in life is when you reach a point you can start lifting other people up with you.
Yeah.
That
I
feels
understand.
so good. And like I definitely
Yes.
just see that from him. And I had to bring it up on the podcast because I
I
was
love
just
it.
like, what they're doing is
Yeah.
so special. So we appreciate you and what you do for all my
Yes. Thanks,
athletes.
Mike.
I have a lot of athletes who train over there. And
Yeah.
Mike always greets me at the door and says, come on in,
I know.
coach,
It's
and
very chill.
I
Very
love
chill
that,
guy. Yeah.
That's what's great is like you would really think there's a big division of like the gyms out here,
Yeah.
like a Biggie Tupac thing or like
Right.
East Coast, West Coast. But honestly, like all of the gyms, there's so much good equipment out there now.
It's
And it's
crazy.
like there's certain hip thrusts I like better than
My
others. And
goodness.
like,
Well, we have like 10 different hip thrust machines right
oh
now.
yeah, through like the gyms out in
It's
Vegas, there's so
insane.
many options, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, oh my god, I'm so spoiled because I
Yeah.
could literally say this is my leg day gym or this
Yeah.
is my chest day gym.
Yeah.
And the bad thing is I know everyone at these gyms, so I do more of this than I do like
Yeah.
this.
Then the pushing and pulling.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get it. And that's one of the things sometimes when I go to the gym, I will say it's definitely not a negative, but when you know everybody in there, you kind of go for a workout that should take you an hour. 3 hours later, you're still doing, your stuff because you've been talking, chit chatting, but it still feels good. Feels good. We did a tour the other day with the girls, which by the way, thanks to the team, I met so many amazing girls from not even from my division. And I am super appreciative. That's one of the things that that you guys brought to my life, like a community of good friends, not just workout buddies.
Yeah.
It's good friends. There's communication. Some days we will go for breakfast. Sometimes we will go. It feels so nice. So if you're in Vegas visiting, please send me a text or on Instagram so we can meet you if you're from the team, because it's really nice to be able to share, the same likes and I don't know. I think it's something that we're
Like-minded
lacking.
people, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Especially in say like Vegas where there's a lot of distractions to
So
get
much
you off
distraction.
track, but I feel like that's where our fitness community like really accelerates. So
Yes.
most people aren't like living the crazy party lifestyle out
No, we're
here
not.
when you're involved
We're not
in
doing
this.
the crazy stuff.
You guys are like the valid Victorians of the city, right? You
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
are going to the gym, you're in
Yeah.
bed by 9 o'clock, and
Yep.
like you don't really have time for a lot of that.
No. Not saying that once in a while I will go and if someone is visiting, we'll go to the strip. But even I don't know you, but me living in Vegas for 26 years now, I barely go to the strip unless someone is from out of town or
Yeah.
visiting. Like I don't. No party, no crazy stuff.
Well, that's the great thing about marrying someone that's the complete opposite of you, because I
Okay.
would never leave these four walls of
Yeah.
this room very
Yeah.
often if it weren't for her.
Yeah.
But she likes to experience dinners out and actually likes to leave the premises on occasion.
Yeah.
So
Leave the
yeah.
premises. I love
Yeah.
that.
When we started dating, I thought, oh my God, there's all these things in Columbus, Ohio I could have been doing that I actually like, but I never experienced them before because I
That's amazing.
recluse. But
It,
yeah, I do want to reel
mm,
back in because you
mhm,
brought up an excellent, we've just had so many great topics to talk about. Being
definitely.
afraid of the off season,
Yes.
I think
Let's talk about that.
you did a spring show and then
Hmm.
you actually made glute progression from spring until fall, which is
Hmm.
really hard to do. That was a very tight timeline, not only to help you grow,
Hmm.
but to get you lean enough again.
Yes.
I think we literally got it down to the week,
I
but
think, yeah, no, you're right. We got a little too lean on the first show.
first
That
show,
that was the feedback from Sandy. She said, don't get any leaner, and I needed more development on the glutes. That was the feedback always. So the glutes, it's very hard to develop, and it's one of those 3D muscles that you have to hit every muscle right, and obviously genetics takes a huge part. And so we did that. The coming out of those two shows that I did, the first one here in Vegas, and 2 weeks later the one in Florida in Boca. Um, Coming out of it was a little difficult because I was extremely lean, and then we did the off season for the glutes, mainly for the glutes. And you're right, like the last week, the last 2 weeks, I will say, you load me on carbs, which why do we feel so, that was for me scary. That was really scary
yeah,
because you it's a lot of it in off season is trial and error. You don't want to do any trial and error during prep.
right.
It's one of those 3 months or 4 months or whatever length your prep is, where you should stick to the plan and don't try anything new, don't do anything crazy, especially on peak week. And mainly because of your GI, you can bring up a lot of GI problems. But we I think we did it the right way. And those last 2 weeks, I felt a pump on my body
Yeah,
with the carb load, and I was so happy with the carbs.
yeah.
So happy, like it brought a little smile on my face because
Bringing
prep is
bringing the
hard.
glutes to the surface
Yeah.
too.
Yes.
Well, I also think when you're in nearly a, when you were in a mini off season, right?
Hmm.
Or a mini bulk essentially between when you've never seen the light of, you know, now we're like taking a year off,
Yes.
and
Whole
like
year.
that can be scary.
Hmm.
And I think sometimes we think we're going to become the person we were pre prep, you
Yes,
know?
I think it's mainly scary because when you're thinking about a year off, you're thinking, "Oh my God, I'm gonna." This is what happens in my mind. I'm not saying it happens to everybody. What if I gain all the way back?
Hmm.
What if I don't do this? What if I feel this way? So you start overthinking it
Hmm.
instead of I mean, let's just be honest. You double my calories in 3 weeks. So yes, it was really scary, but it was so surprising to me that the number on the scale was not moving at all.
Right.
And I was like, okay, what's going on here? Something, my body, obviously the body was responding really well to the feed, but I started, feeling a little bit more confident. Like, okay, I'm gonna just trust your coach. You've been doing all the right things with me for the whole year. Why was I in panic? I have no idea. But I think you're right. You're thinking on your pre-prep body
Hmm.
and how that is going to affect, the way you see yourself. And a lot of that come and trust and let go. Just let go.
Yeah. It's scary because it's different, but that's what true coaching is. Like it's not always going to be the same,
It's never going to be the
And
same.
I think that's one big thing we're really changing in Vegas, because people are like, "Wow, my peak week is now different than the one we did 6 months ago
Yeah.
or even week to week. And that's something new we wanted to bring here from
Yeah.
Ohio. We had some Vegas athletes, and we just feel like sometimes the science just catches on a little bit later everywhere else. And
I
we're really
agree.
happy to bring this approach in. Um, I really love that are expressing like what a mental toll sometimes change can be for an athlete.
Yes,
Like
definitely.
sometimes athletes like, I know what I'm doing for peak week, but then at the end of the day, that's really planning, not coaching, and
Yes,
how much better could you be if these things actually are manipulated for your body, or
definitely.
somebody, actively making coaching changes versus just giving you a plan at the end of the day?
That's the other thing. We were doing macros for my off season, which I really appreciated because macros is one of those things that if you respect the macros and you stick to the plan, you learn to eat, different things, what works for you, what doesn't work, always within the macros. That really helped me out so much to learn
Hmm.
about, okay, this is making me too bloated, so I'm going to change it for this type of carbs or etc. The in prep mode, I loved having a meal plan because I don't want to worry about what should I be eating or not. Tell me what to eat and I'll stick to the plan because I'm very committed when it comes to the diet. So uh nutrition plan for me works excellent when I'm on prep. Like just tell me what to eat and I'll respect that. Um but yeah, I think you're right. I think for me in my personal case, it's about trust. I'm not gonna say I'm the kind of person who likes to control everything. I don't think I'm that. I don't have that personality. I think I like to have some things under control in my life, but I don't. I'm not a controlling person per se. And having that and that saying that, I do like to know what's going to happen in the next 3 to 6 months, kind of. I'm the type of person who will make plans at the end of the year, at the beginning.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm going to do this, January, February, March, etc. And the year that I hire you, I was more like in the mood of, you know what? Bring it on.
Hmm.
I'm just going to let go, and whatever God or the universe, whatever you believe in, decides to send me the way, I'll just accept it and take it as it is. And that's exactly what I did. And that was the first time that I felt so free. And I enjoy prep. Like, yeah, you're restricted. Yes, you're tired. Yes, the last 2 weeks I didn't have a lot of energy to work out. It's obvious because your calorie intake and your carbs and your fats, and but I felt so free and so happy of doing it. I enjoyed it. I think it was the first time in my life of competing that I actually enjoyed being on prep. It was fun.
I
It
love
was
that.
really fun. Yeah. And I
That's
think it
awesome.
shows. I think it shows on stage when you're actually enjoying it.
Hmm.
It brings up your personality. It brings up your posing is different. The way you interact with other athletes backstage is different. And ultimately that's what we actually want. You don't want to do this and feel awful or feel unhappy. You want to bring the best of you because it's you're going to prep for so long, but there's only one day, 12, I don't know, 12 seconds the most that you're going to be
Yeah.
on stage
Yeah.
do if you're not a pro. um so you have to make those 12 seconds, 15 seconds or 20 seconds it's
Count.
count.
Yeah,
Yeah, that it comes to that at the end of the day.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're one of my hybrid athletes, which is something that, I feel like we've brought into the industry. There's sometimes where we do a meal plan, there's sometimes where we do macros. And
Yes.
I find that it's sad because I saw the other day a coach announce I'm like now doing macros, and I thought like how sad that like it's 2026 and you're just now doing macros. And then you almost have to ask like, with a post like that, like how experienced are you with even nutrition
Yeah.
manipulation?
Yeah.
It just kind of made me laugh. Like,
Yeah.
that's not a big announcement. Like that, you should have been doing that a long time
Right.
ago.
Exactly.
So it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But anything else you want your listeners to know about you?
Well, I'm a master competitor, so I think a lot of a lot of things changes when after you turn once you turn 40, everything changes. So it is a lot more difficult for us to do a lot of competing with other women in their 20s, and you're there backstage thinking, oh my god, their skin, it's like I will never be to I can never be like that. And it creates a lot of insecurity. So for me, competing in Masters, it changed the whole game. Now I have to say, the respect I have for this Masters, I have seen women 50, 60-year-old competing. Adam, I am blown away by their bodies, and um, it brought me a complete different mindset after competing with Masters. I loved competing with Masters. Um, but I think the main thing is to just taking advantage of whatever you live, of those free workshops, and taking advantage of how many podcasts we have nowadays with different coaches and different athletes. Always tune out depending on your goals, obviously. But I think it's so important to understand that sometimes not everybody's going to have a main motive why they want to get into bodybuilding. Just get into bodybuilding, and the how things are going to happen for you sometimes are not going to be all figured out at the beginning. Sometimes it's just going to take a little bit, it's going to take time. um but taking advantage, having a posing coach, how important is that? That's the posing coach can see things you don't see on a mirror. You can have a 360-degree mirror in your house, and you're still not going to be able to see the things that a posing coach. We shout out to Courtney too, because she changed the game for me too.
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
It's been great. I've been sharing a few competitors with her for posing.
Yes.
It's been really nice.
Yes. Yeah, she's amazing. She gave me a complete different perspective on posing, from the walk to the transitions, which are really difficult. And let's just face it, like when you're rehearsing, it's not the same when you're in front of hundreds of people in a bikini. Like you're
Right.
half naked walking on a stage trying to showcase all your work for the last 3 or 4 months.
Right.
It's difficult. You shake a lot. You get nervous. So rehearsing and hiring a posing coach is so, I think it could be a game changer for a lot of us. You can have the best body, the best glute development, but if you don't know how to pose, you may not even place.
You don't know how to display it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that this is wonderful advice for newer competitors,
Yes.
newer Masters competitors. It's never too late to start. And
Oh my God, no.
I know our media crew will be posting some before and afters of you throughout the podcast
Yes.
for everyone to see
Yes.
where you came from to where you're at now is just insane. But where can people find you if they want to contact you, follow your journey?
My journey, I'm mainly posting I'm very active on Instagram pretty much every day, TikTok too. It's CC Perez W06. I think it's CC Perez _ W06. But you can go to Adam's Instagram and find
You'll
me.
see you're on there
CC Perez.
too.
But I'm so excited also. What do you have for us on the app? What's new? What's changing for all of us?
So next we're releasing our Elite OS, which will actually be integrated training within the app, because currently I've been still using Google Sheets. So
Okay.
we wanted to do first the communication, the connection platform, because that's what we needed the most. Getting you guys in the community chats, getting our mental health director and client success director set up, getting our medical directors set up. And now we're moving into more of the, more of the iPhone, iOS type stuff,
Okay.
which is very, very exciting. So I would say we'll probably be rolling that out in the next 2 weeks here. So
That's amazing. I
lots
can't
of
wait for
fun
that.
stuff. And
Cannot wait for that.
definitely some more surprises on some more things we're doing with other people, and
Awesome.
just providing you guys more value as we keep going, which is really exciting.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I've been using the app every single day, and for everything, education, talking to other competitors. It's so useful for us. It's like it's always there.
Yeah.
So it's like a peace of mind too. And the mental health, which is so important. How did you even come up with that?
Well, I used to have a mental health director. I had Corey Probst back in the day, and there was about a 6 year gap from Corey to now having Celeste in, and I think a lot of that just comes down to like I did some we work a lot in mentality, but also like when clients really struggle, it's just better to save my bandwidth for what I'm like best at, and having Celeste available for that stuff, which is really awesome. So, a lot of delegations have been made with See You Later Leaner to just even make me better for you guys,
Hmm.
which I think we always have to do, which is super exciting.
That's very exciting, and thank you so much for that. It's really, really. What do you think is the most problem that every competitor in for female competitors? What's the mental struggle that we all go through?
I think
The most common in your case that you're a coach.
I think food. I think food. Your relationship with food gets tweaked when we do this, and sometimes we have trauma from childhood, other coaches. Um, still to this day, I respond to people in a very gentle manner. But if you had a coach who like yelled at you, you're going to be afraid that I'm going to do that.
I see.
And so I think sometimes for people is unwinding some of the things that are like maybe negative, or things that they already have in place. So sometimes uncoaching people, I think if they've been coached before, getting them into a new environment can be tricky, and
So
you
it's
got
more
to like,
like unlearning all the bad behaviors and trying to get into a better, more healthier mindset, right?
yeah,
About food.
absolutely. And just realize like what you have within our community, you might not think it's available, but like
Mm.
it usually is. And if you just ask, it's there.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that.
So,
Well, yeah, thank you for that.
well, it was so great to have you
Thank you,
on,
Adam. Thank you,
and
Sarah.
we will see you later, Leaner.
Bye.